Well, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to another podcast, and again apologies it's taken so long to get out on the water again. I've been just so busy with guiding and tuition, and the shop's been busy, and it's the busy time of year, kind of around May, June time. So anyway, I'm finally back out. I'm come to a new piece of river, just something a bit different. I've got about 100 metres I can fish here. Not the most rural location compared to most of the places I fish, around the back of some industry and the supermarket nearby, but it's a nice quick piece of river. I'm going to have a go with the dry fly, tracing some trout. Mayfly is kind of just over its peak probably. There's not a great deal rising in front of me, so I'm just going to prospect with the dry and basically see how I get on from there. I've got a Grey Wulf on to start off with on my usual 9-foot 4-weight river outfit. Ginked it up so it's going to float nice and high, probably about 13-14 foot a leader, and I'm just going to fish up these seams of current and put the fly up there and see what I can get. Right, let's start getting a cast out and see what we do. It's a bit more overgrown here, so I've got my long handle landing net, so if I do get into a fish, I can certainly get the net down and give it a go. Alright, just scramble down onto the bank. Water's quite low and very clear. I say there's nothing rising ahead of me, but I think if we can just drop this Grey Wulf over a fish, we've got a chance. Right, start with a few short casts. I'm just going to cover every little area of river I can. As there's no flies coming off, if it's going to happen in terms of a hatch, it'll probably be any time about now. There's always a chance, if these fish have been gorging on mayflies, that they might be having a bit of a rest, but if there is anything want to feed in this fairly low, clear, quick water, I think there's a chance of probably bringing one up. No, I say I've been out doing a lot of guiding and a lot of tuition, and on our little beat of river we've had a good burst of 2 or 3 weeks of activity, really quite strong rises to mayflies and gnats and olives, and then it's noticeably just dropped up over the past week. Now, I don't know if the fish are just starting to go into that June sleepiness that they can sometimes go into after they've fed on mayfly for a while, or whether they're just adjusting their feeding times a bit more with it being so bright in the mornings and early now. I've been last few mornings woken up at 4, half 4 with the brightness coming through from behind the curtain, so certainly I would imagine the fish will be feeding a lot earlier in the day now. It's getting bright. It's a nice piece of water this, actually. Like I say, I've never fished it, but it's nice and quick, just how I like it, but not too quick and not too deep, so I would still suspect we'll get fish just grabbing flies off the surface. Like I said, I've yet to see a rise in front of me. I do like fishing the Grey Wulf. It's one of my favourite little mayfly patterns. The river's only 15 to 20 feet across here, and it's a fairly even flow actually. There's not many kind of seams and riffles and like pools or shallow ends and shallow sides and deep sides. It's fairly even all the way up. There we go. a nice rise to my dry, and I'm in. Looks like a wild rainbow, and it is. Oh, nice to get a bend in my rod. Lovely, because I've only got about probably 100 metres of water I can practically fish here before it's I can't get a cast out, so it's nice to get a rise before I get to the top of the run. Right, let's try and guess. This has gone downstream and it's putting up a fair old scrap, so let's just try and get this one to the net. Come on, you. There we go. First fish of the day, lovely wild rainbow. Just nicked in the scissor. So she's straight back. Lovely, what a great start to the day. Give the fly a bit of a blow off and get this cast out again. I think the good thing about this bit is not that many people fish it, so it doesn't get a lot of... Right, I'm back in, so putting little casts out again. Leader set up today. We've got about 9-foot tapered leader of 5x, and then I've got about 3 foot of 6x tippet. Right, let's take a few paces up. Now a bit of a wind just getting up, that can clear off. There's a nice little seam of current, one of the few little seams of current just coming down in front of me here. The water's just winding round a rock further up, so that's definitely worth bringing the fly down through this seam. It looks like a good little feeding line for fish. Just drop it on there. It is crystal clear here, and the water level's not too bad, but it's actually starting to rain now, spitting with rain. We have had some showers over the past week, so it's just freshened things up a tiny bit. But hopefully this rain doesn't come too hard. Just going to put a longer cast out. Just reach further upstream if I can. And then I think I've about covered this little bit. All right, let's I'll have to scramble back up onto the bank and should head upstream a touch. I use my landing handle as a bit of a walking stick, actually. I don't want to stand too high on this bank, because I'm just going to sky myself. If I can get in. This looks a nice spot, actually. Just pushing quite high up here on the bank, so I'm just crouching a bit and making sure I'm not silhouetting myself too much. I can see that Grey Wulf coming down the stream nicely. Yeah, it's just blowing up to rain a bit. It was actually not forecast anything, but it's been a bit showery recently, and it's just little squally showers blowing up every so often. Still not much fire life coming off. Hopefully we'll get a bit of a hatch over the next hour, and the fish will start to follow some nymphs up and get their eyes up a bit. But if not, I'm still reasonably confident I can get the odd rise just by prospecting with a dry. Right, let's move upstream a bit. Try not to fall in. I think what I'm probably going to do is fish up the rest of this run as far as I can, and then just drop down into the meadows further down and have a little go from down there. Much easier fishing and a lot less noisy. But it's nice to have a go at different bits of river. I always enjoy fishing pieces of river I've never cast a line on. It's interesting. It looks ripe for fish, so let's hope we get one more rise before I move. Perfect conditions for fishing really today. It's fairly mild, overcast, not too cold. Right, one more cast here and I'll move up again. Let's try and cover that seam over there. Perfect. Right, I think I've got probably one more round of casting before it gets a little bit too overgrown, so let's work up a little bit here. Again, just try and keep nice and low. That looks just perfect for a fish here. Little taps into the current seam. Where's that fly? There we are, just in front of me that was. This is a better fish. It just looked ripe for a fish. There's an overhanging brush and then there's a seam of current just coming round the bush. So it was quite obvious there was going to be a fish there, and I just almost dapped it with only 3 foot of line out, and a nice fish is taking it. Again, head downstream, and it's just using its weight in the current now. It's taking some line. Oh, away it goes. Come on. I think it's a brownie this time. Just saw a buttery brown flank as it rolled. Nice fish. Yes, it is a brownie. Right, get this net out. So with these high banks, you've got to have a long handled net here, and you can still net them. Right, are you going to come in? Yes, you are, in the bag. Lovely. There we go. Perfect. Oh, lovely. Wild rainbow and a brown, and I've probably got one more cast, I think, here before I can't really fish any further up. So let's have a look at this fly. Oh, it's holding up pretty well. Let's give it a blow, and you never know. He took and went downstream, so if there is another fish working in a similar area, there's always a chance I might just ping another one out. That was interesting. It was a case of just tap almost the leader out first, just into the zone, and just hit it straight away. As many of you will know, I absolutely love my nymph fishing, and I do a lot of nymph fishing, so it's always a lovely change for me to actually do a bit of dry fly. I do enjoy it, and I enjoy it when it's like this and there's very little rising, to be honest. I probably enjoy this more than if I've got just fish rising all around me, because I like to be able to imagine where the fish are and think where they're going to be, and just try and drop my fly in the zone. Whereas other anglers will love just stalking and trying to stalk individual fish, and I do enjoy that, but there's something for me about that sudden rise to your fly when nothing else is rising, and you just feel like you've really cracked it. Alright, a couple more casts here to try and avoid the bush, and then I might just manage one lot more casting. If not, it's dropping back into the car, and I'll head down to the meadows and probably fish that up. The rain's starting to come down fairly heavy now, but I don't think it's going to settle in. I think it's just probably a shower. Oh, it's mayfly coming off on the far bank there. Right, one more cast here, and then I'll just see if I can actually get a cast out further up, and if not, I'll head down and wind this in. It's a very straight bit of river, this, nice and straight and quick. I do like quick water. I have to confess, I tend to get touch bored. Well, bored's probably not the right word. I don't like fishing through still water in a river. I like quick moving water, and same when I'm salmon fishing. I like something that's going to bring the fly through quickly. Alright, I just need to remove a thorn from the back of my trousers. There we are. I think actually I'll probably get one more round of casting in just here. It's difficult, but I can probably just do it with a high rod. The bush that my previous trout was sitting under is now in the way of my cast because I've just moved upstream of it, but I can probably just dap a fly Oh, something just had a swirl at that. You gonna have another look? Just try this off a bit. Just again, just hardly any fly line out, just 4 foot of fly line, just the leader to start off with, just tapping it and just working the water in front of me, and then I'll start to, just a foot at a time, work the fly line out. I can see exactly, oh, missed it. I can see exactly where I think there should be a fish. The river is changing here. There's a bit more of a seam of current a quicker piece of current to the right of me, and the river's just slowing on the left. So I just put it on the edge of that current seam, and that's where I'd hope to maybe encounter a fish. Okay, right, longer cast. That's about right. Any offers? No, another mayfly just easing its way out the river. There's a little bit of an increase in fly life, so by the time I get down to the meadows, it might be a case of there's a bit more action. Well, like I said, I'm more than happy just fishing in the likely bits. Try some in the quick water, just see if there's one waiting. Sometimes them little wild rainbows, they love waiting in that very fast, shallow water, just grabbing at stuff as it comes past. But so this little tip, if anyone's just starting, this Grey Wulf's actually fairly small, it's a 14. But if you do start fishing bigger mayfly patterns, you will start to encounter lots of twists in your leader as the fly spins. So I get this quite a lot with people asking, oh, why am I getting all these twists? You've just got to step up your leader probably to a 3x or sometimes even thicker, just to make sure that you are not letting the fly spin as you cast. But with this size 14 on this particular tippet, I just get away with it. It's just about alright. Oh, actually, I can get down here and fish, look. Well, this is quite nice. You have to excuse me, this is new for me. I've never fished up here, so just come to the end of where I thought I could fish, and there's a little run. Looks very shallow and weedy. Very clear, shallow and weedy, but I reckon looks a perfect spot for a little wild rainbow here. If I can just stay low and just fish this fast water, I'm going to go down right on my knees. Right down, crouch down, commando style. And just prospect this quick weedy water. There's bound to be a fish just sat amongst these weeds. The other little tip is, especially with these drab coloured flies, I've not got polarised glasses on here, but if you lose sight of the fly, just look at the patch of water where you think it probably should be, and conditions like this, you'll see the fish rise, and 99.9% of the time it's always at your fly. Don't worry if you lose track of it, just look at the water ahead of your fly line. Strike at anything that rises. It's a nice little seamer current. There's a little current stream coming down the centre of the river that's kind of spewing out into a little riffly pool bit. Only very small, but I know there'll be a fish in there. Maybe over the far side of it. Sorry about the industrial noise, but like I say, it's in a bit more of a built-up area, this. Oh, the river itself is stunning. I know where I am now. So there's a bit of river I couldn't work out how to get to earlier, and sure enough this path actually takes me there, so I might not go to the meadows. Let's see if I can actually get a cast out in here. That'd be rather nice if I could. Anything rising? So river again is about 20 feet across now, very shallow, quite quick in front of me, and then it's a steady glide further up. A few mayflies coming off, and I'm in a field really, and then the other side is very much tree line, but at some point someone's built a wall next to the river, so it's all running through in quite a straight line against the wall. Let me just start by again fishing the riffle just in front of me and just dapping with the fly, tapping the leader out. Working the cast out. Right, let's take a few paces up, grab the net. Oh, it's really shallow here. It's just going to be really very hard work. You can see, oh! I just cast into the middle, and I said I'll see the fish rise if it comes up, and a trout came off the bottom, and I saw it come right up, and it just turned at the last second at my fly and didn't take it. That was nice to see. Not often I see that anymore. See the actual fish rise off the bottom. Let me shorten my line a bit and see if I can just get a better presentation on him. That's about right. There's a rise ahead of me. So definitely a few more insects coming off now, and a bit more activity. Let me push up a bit. I'm just making a bit of a slack line cast here as well, just to stop the drag, because from the bank going across the river it can get a bit of a drag and just skate the fly, which we don't want. I'm being really ultra careful as well when I pick my fly off the surface, not to let it drag, not to let it suck down and pop off and cause a big disturbance. So I've just about covered that fish that rose. Okay, a couple more casts I think. I know there's a fish in there. This lovely weedy river, this. Nice fronds of green weed and limestone bottom to it. So it's a lovely looking river. Plenty of fish as well. Excellent fly fishing. So whatever rose in here is gone. Oh, it's sulking. Well, I think I'm gonna call it an afternoon. Just a short session today. Just had to nip out quickly and have a bit of a fish. Thank you so much for listening. For more information on guiding, fly fishing lessons, please visit www.peaksflyfishing.com, and for all our flies and tackle it is shop.peaksflyfishing.com. Until next time, thanks for listening. Bye bye.